Sha'ah tova. Okay, so now we are Pasuk Kav Gimel. Shlomo HaMelech continues in his rebuke. And now we'll address, according to the Gaon, solutions to the three problems that he identified in Pasuk Kav Bet. And we will see in the beginning of the Perek. Now, the Pasuk Kav Gimel can be understood two ways. One way, like the Ibn Ezra wants to address it, which is a continuation of Pasuk Kav Bet, ad matai, until when? Yeah, and the Pasuk goes like this: Tashuvu letochachti. You are until when are you indifferent to my rebuke? Ine abi alachem ruhi. I will now speak my mind to you, like I'll express myself to you now. Yeah. Odia devarai etchem, and let you know my thoughts. That's one way. The other way is the way of the Gaon, which we're gonna dive into, where he actually brings solutions. Tashuvu letochachti. Come back. Milashon teshuva, right? Letochachti, through the Musa, through my rebuke. Not ad matai, until when, but instead tashuvu. Letochachti, come back. Do teshuva through my tochacha, through my rebuke. Hine abia lachem ruhi. I will diverse. I will speak out my ruach. Odia, and I will express, I will let you know devarai, my words. Again, three statements. Do teshuvah through my tochacha, through my rebuke. Hine abi alachem ruhi. I will averse, I will shower, I will express abundantly my spirit, my ruach. We know that in the structure of the nefesh, we have, of a person, we have nefesh, ruach, and neshama. Nefesh being the spiritual influx that keep the physicality alive, the will of Hashem in physicality. The ruach being the emotion and the midot, etc. And then we have the neshama, right? So let me express and abundantly my ruach, my spirit. That's number two. And the third, odia, I will bring to your attention, I will let you know, devarai, etchem, I will let you know my thoughts, my words. So the Gaon aligns this pasuk to the pasuk Kavbet. In pasuk Kavbet, we addressed three types of failure, of people that fail to be connected, right? The first one is the petty, the stupid, right? The second one is the mocker. Sorry, the first one is the petty, is not the stupid because we use the stupid at the end, but is the simple, right? Is the one that is fully connected or motivated by physical pleasures. That's the petty. The second one is the mocker that enjoys mockery, even though he doesn't get any benefits from it. And the third one is the stupid that sacrifices his opportunity to connect to knowledge simply because it's not brought to him on a silver platter and it's not motivating enough, right? That was Pasuk Kavbet. So as a solution, as a remedy to those three failures, Shlomo Melech introduces three cures. The cure for the simple that is motivated and enjoys only physicality of the physical pleasures. He says, Tashuvu letochachti. The refuah, the teshuvah, to cure the ta'ava, the desire of physical pleasures. He says is tochacha and musar, rebuke and learning musar. And he explains that through learning the musar, teshaber ta'avatam, you will break the ta'ava, the desire. Because the musar essentially brings back in perspective values of life, time, the value of time, the day of death. And a person, essentially, when you talk to him, he realizes, because you put on a balance, what's more important? The steak that you're enjoying right now, or the drug that you're taking right now, or the pleasure of whatever avera you're doing, or things that are more meaningful. Usually people, when you talk to them and you talk sense into them, and you talk about real things, it opens the heart. Says Shlomo HaMelech, the way the Gaon explains it, you want to fight your dependence on physical pleasures, learn Musar. Talk about real things. Talk about things that matter. The knowledge and the engagement and the involvement of a person with subjects that do matter, that are real, weakens the ta'ava, the desire of physical pleasures. Good. And that solved the first issue, or that's the cure to the first problem, which is very interesting. We would think that if you want to fight the ta'ava, the desire of physicality, then cut cold turkey the pleasure, right? Do like the Nazirim, like the going to say, like do a tikkun and completely cut it. No, there is a back door that's called chokhmah and musar, right? Through the musar, you will heal it. So a person that really wants to fix his the best word is his dependence on the physical high, is through simply through putting things in perspective in life. The musar and the tochacha. There is a difference between the tochacha and the musar, is that the tochacha is a blunt and real approach of life, where musar is more softer. So when Shlomo said tashuvu letochachti, do teshuvah by learning the musar in a form of real approach, meaning be real about it, be blunt about it. Don't put gloves and massage. Yes, if this is how you want to open the heart of someone to be more open to Torah is one thing, But this is not what we're talking about. Here we're talking about curing the dependence of physical pleasures. So if you want to cure the dependence of physical pleasures, be blunt about the musar that you learn. Like the Gemara says, if you fix yourself and if the Yitzhak keeps on going, you know what you think about? Yom HaMitah. Think about Yom HaMitah. It's Gemara in Brachot. So there is the tochen, right? The tochen, the substance of what you learn should be musar, but the approach of the musar should be in a form of tochacha, of being more straightforward and blunt about it. And says the Gaon, this is how you will cure the dependence of physical pleasures. Now, that's the first one. And then the second category, we go low to high, right? Like we said, bottom to top, is the mockers that get a high in just enjoying seeing people laugh at their mockery, even though that essentially they don't get any physical pleasure. They don't get nothing out of it. And here comes the amazing hidush of the Gaon. He says the Gaon, there is a slang that we all use. It's called nachas, nachat ruach, right? We all want nachat ruach, correct? Everybody, when we get beracha, I want to have nachat ruach. My ruach has to be appeased, has to be calm. The Ashkenazi say, "Aber naches, Yiddish naches." Yeah, we want naches. Says the Gaon something beautiful. He says like this: when a person takes upon himself or engages, it's two different versions of the Gaon, but it starts with taking upon himself. Lokeach al atzmo. La'asot davar. When a person takes himself to do something, very important to listen carefully. Notnim lo min hashamayim, from shamayim we give him a ruach, a spirit, an influx of desire, of willpower, of motivation that will help him do whatever he decides that he wants to do or took upon himself of doing. Whether it's good or whether it's bad. Listen carefully to what I just said. A person decides that he wants to do something. He has a motivation. You know what? I want to do this mitzvah, or I want to do this avera. It's a thought. It's a thought that triggers in Shamayim an influx of koach, of strength, that translates into motivation, desire, engagement, that will motivate the person to do that thought. And says the Gaon, that energy does not get appeased until the action is done. Please.
Sorry to interrupt. In both ways, good
both
and not
ways.
good?
Both ways.
Wow.
This is the biggest hidush here.
So basically it's saying that your ritzon, your inner desires will drive
the energy that you have.
בדרך שאדם רוצה ללך, מוליכין אותו. The path that the person wants to take, from Shamayim, we push him there. So a person has a thought.
By the way, that answers the question about Paro, about Lev Paro, right? Hashem hardened his heart.
Beautiful.
And everyone says, why? Oh, well, why? How could Hashem do that? Because his Ratzon was there already. It was done. Wow.
So we understand. So it can go in the good and it can go in the not good. So says the Gaon the following. When a person has a thought, we have to say, mitzvah goreret mitzvah, avera goreret avera. The first mitzvah is the thought to want to do the mitzvah. When you have a thought to do a mitzvah, it brings upon a person a high level energy that's called the ruach to help you do that mitzvah. And until you don't do the mitzvah in the level of the thought and desire that you had when the thought came into your head, the ruach doesn't stop. The ruach keeps on pushing. If the thought of doing an avera and its desire at that moment to explore the avera is high, the ruach that will come will be at that level and the person will not rest until he does the avera. It also explains a person has a desire to do something and he knows it's not right, but it's only a thought that crosses his mind. And slowly, that thought becomes more and more and more and more and more and more and more, and it doesn't stop until he gets the action gets done. So all this is triggered by the thought and the desire to engage in that thought at that moment, at that fraction of a second. Good? That's the mechanism of the ruach. The thought and the desire that comes with that thought at that moment. So now we understand the mechanism. Shlomo HaMelech applies that mechanism according to the Gaon in his message of let me express abundantly my ruach. So he says the following. Here in that case, ruhi is my spirit, is my ruach, which is a ruach of kedusha, right? In this specific case, it's as if Hashem says, let me shower upon you an abundance of my ruach upon you.
So you're trying to reverse the ruach inside of the letz. That's basically what you're trying to do.
Exactly. So that's the concept of the mechanism. Yeah, we have the thought, the feeling on the thought. It triggers an influx of energy, of willpower that will not stop and pause until the action is done. So, and here the the Gaon takes this mechanism, this formula, and applies it, according to Shlomo HaMelech, yeah, and what Shlomo HaMelech says, into what he calls the polar opposites between good and bad, with good being the ultimate good and bad being the ultimate bad. And he says the following. He says the most impure, Ruach HaTuma Gdola Ad Me'od, is the Batlanut and the Betelim Veletzanut. He says the biggest Ruach Tum'ah, spirit of impurity, a person can bring upon himself is to be a Batlan and a Leitzan.
What is that? Idle
Batlan,
chatter?
Huh?
Idle chatter?
No. A Batlan is somebody that wastes time and is a mocker, a jokester. He says from there comes the highest level of tum'ah and impurity in a person. To the point that the polar opposite to it is the Torah HaKedosha, the Talmud, the Torah HaKedosha. Meaning, when a person wants to be batel and not do nothing, he wants laziness, he wants mockery, jokester, that's all he has. He brings upon himself so much impurity in the ruach, in the energy that comes down, that he is driven by that desire to be a laughter, a mocker, a lazy, a bum, that he can never get out of it on his own. And the only refuah that Shlomo HaMelech found to cure such a disease is an intense and overwhelming flow of Talmud Torah. And this is why he uses.
Sorry. This will be why Bitul Torah it's so punished.
Yes. Bitul Torah keneged kulam also is the worst avera. Now, if you're bitula letzorech kiyuma, if you're mevatel Torah in order to learn Torah for parnasa, for chinuch, for whatever, it's okay. But the betela, the batala, not do nothing, the leitzanu, the mockery, is the worst. Is the worst. So he uses the word abiya lachem ruchi. Let me overflow you. Like come minachal novea, like you know when you have a spring that the water always comes out with fierce and strength. Spring water. He says, let me bring that the Torah in such a manner of intense flow and injection of water. He says that's the only way how you're going to break the spirit of Tum'ah. And he says that the same way a person that is lazy and the mocker has darkness and heaviness and a disconnect with positivity and proactivity, the Torah is filled with positivity, with engagement, with power, with proactivity, with energy. Good?
Perfect.
And here is, and again, I said it many times, but I want to re-emphasize it. It's all triggered by the thought and the desire of that thought at that moment. So if you have a thought of Torah and a desire for Torah, a thought of mitzvah, and a desire of mitzvah, you inject in your ruach, in your desire, in your instinct, in your willpower, that energy. So essentially, it revolves around what you're exposed to. If you're exposed to tum'ah, if you're exposed to nonsense, it will awake within you the desire for that nonsense. If you're exposed with kedusha and you're exposed with positivity, you will want it. So your surrounding, your immediate surrounding, the immediate images and information that your senses capture will dictate whether you're going to want to do positive things or want to do negative things. This leads us to how critical the sanity, the purity of our environment at home must be. And not expose ourselves and our families and our children to things that will force them to want to choose negativity, such as TV, internet, nonsense, etc.
So although you're not thinking, the environment will infuse energy in you.
No,
because
the environment will make you think.
You think
that
it'll shape your desires.
Wow.
And then says the Gaon, you cannot get out of it. Meaning, it's a demon that lives without the person until it is satisfied. And until it's not satisfied, it's not benachat. So you have nachat ruach with tum'ah, and you have nachat ruach with kedusha.
That's big.
It's a huge chidush.
Because basically, once you have the desire, it's like a runaway train. It's hard to stop it.
You cannot. Forget it, it's hard. You cannot. You can try, overcome it once, twice, 3 times, but at one point, it will get to you. It will get to you. It's sick to say, but it's almost better to just give in right away and get rid of it than to try to push it, thinking that you can fight it. Obviously, we don't do that. Yeah, we fight it because why? Because we want to cure it. How do we cure it? We cure it with Torah, Talmud Torah. Okay. If you see that, like Chazal tells us, if you see that the Yetzer Hara tries to take you down, moshchehu lebet hamidrash. Take him to the bet hamidrash.
You're explaining every addiction under the sun right now.
Yes.
Every addiction under the sun. That you have to take it out from the root, because once the desire is there, it's very difficult.
Correct. That's the second. That's the
let's.
Yes.
The chzil.
Also gives a different parameter, a different depth to what Chazal says. En simcha ke simchat Torah. There's no simcha like the simcha of the Torah. Why? Because it doesn't matter how much satisfaction and happiness you get from everything else. The only simcha that can cure you is the simcha of the Torah. So it's a cure. The best therapy for any addiction is the Torah Kedosha. Because the simcha of the Torah that you get is so powerful that it heals and uproot any ruach tum'ah. And then the third category, Odia devarai etchem, let me let you know my words to you. And obviously, and this here is talking to the ksil, to the stupid. And he says, Odia, let me let you know. Let me explain to you. Devarai, my word. So he says, with the stupid, use the da'at. The da'at is wisdom, but it comes also from the word Adam yada et Chava ishto. Adam became one with Chava, his wife. So da'at can also mean unity, intimacy. If someone is disconnected from the Torah, if someone is rejecting the Torah, repulsing the Torah because it's too complicated, it's too hard, it's not brought the right way, connect to things that learn things of the Torah that are simple, but that also connect to your heart, connect to you. Some people, they don't want to learn Gemara. Gemara is boring, but they want to learn things that are parasha. Yeah. Through the parasha, he will come to learn the Gemara, and he's going to learn the Mishnah. And so the Torah, the Shlomo HaMelech says, "Odia devarai etchem," let my word be intimate with you, explanatory, clear, and this is how you will overcome the heaviness of rejecting the Torah, of being so upset at the Torah, etc.
I'm not sure I understand it. How is it going to come to that? How is it going to come to Big Seal that the words will be known to him? And
so you start by taking subjects that the person can relate to, can connect to, can find an intimate connection to, and bring it with as much clarity as possible. So there is the subject that touches the heart, and then there is the delivery with clarity. So for example, a child or somebody that you see that is not motivated with Torah, is not connected with Torah, it has a hard time with it. Find the subject that he likes. Prepare it well, with the right delivery, the right clarity. And engage with him with that. And that will slowly open his heart and bring him back to the Torah.
I feel like this pasuk needs to be given to every teacher, every rabbi that exists, because you're talking about how to relate and how to, heal really every single kind of person.
The three types of challenges: the one that doesn't want to let go of physical pleasures, the one that is injecting himself with addiction, and the one that is burnt out from knowledge and needs to be reopened. Baruch Hashem. That's Pasuk Kaf Gimel.
Wow.
And all the energies, they come down through what we studied of the Shemot, and every time we have the thought, is connected, and they go up and down, and they bring us the energy.
Yes.
Okay.
In the portion of the Chasadim.
Okay. Wow.
Baruch Hashem.
Okay, so we continue the Ruach tomorrow?
Yes, Be'ezrat Hashem
Amen.
Yeshua.